starts at 3:07 a.m. with a stranger who knows my full name, my middle name, and the last good thing I did. And he tells me not to hang up. I work nights in a small Cleveland station that smells like coffee and warm dust. The on-air sign is the only thing that passes for a sunrise in here. A red square that hums like a hive. The board's a scratched-up battleship. Sliders with little gaffer tape labels. A cough button that sticks. A cheap digital timer that says, delay, 180 cc. My show is simple. I play songs. I take calls. I keep people company when they're working third shift. When they're sick. When they can't sleep. The world feels gentler at 2 a.m. Until it doesn't. The clock's red second hand crawls toward the top of the hour. I lean into the mic like I always do and give the city my line. CT after hours. Lines are open. Tell me something true, Cleveland. The phone rings once. It's a plain, honest ring. I punch the line live, and then a voice I don't recognize, steady and calm, speaks like he's standing in the room with me. Evan Cole, middle name James. Last good deed. Paid for the woman with the bald tires. Don't hang up. My mouth goes dry. I do what every host does when something gets under the skin. I joke. I say something about Facebook. I make a smile out of my voice, because that's what you're supposed to do when the floor moves under you. Pretend it's dancing. The caller doesn't laugh. He says, at 3:10, a southbound bus at Halpern and 5th won't see the light. 12 hurt. A man in a brown jacket loses 3 teeth. It's too specific to ignore. It's too strange to believe. I glance at the cheap delay display that sits taped to the side of the board. Delay. 180 SOC stares back. I tell the caller to hold. I bring the music up. I slide my headphones half off and do the thing he told me not to do. I call for help. I don't call the bus company. I call dispatch. I talk fast. I ask if there's a route near Halpern. If there is, could they warn the driver to slow down, to watch the light? I don't say why. I can't say a stranger from the future called my show. The dispatcher asks me what the emergency is. I don't have one to give her. Not yet. I'm fidgeting with the post-it stuck to the console that says, silent sensor. Fail. Tense. I've always hated that little warning. In radio, 10 seconds of silence is a cliff you're always backing toward. Hang up before I convince anyone. Back on the mic, I am the picture of easygoing. I'm a voice in the night, and the city's used to hearing me unruffled. I tell the caller he made a bold claim. I tell him nothing's going to happen. He says one number. 10. I don't hear the accident so much as feel it. The building hums in a way it shouldn't. The glass vibrates like someone breathed on the whole street and didn't stop. Far away, a metallic shudder, a soft crush, a sound like a sigh getting cut into pieces. No screaming, no drama, just pressure and then relief. My phone lights up on the desk with a headline that isn't a headline yet. A push alert stumbles toward the words it's going to use. Accident at Halpern and 5th, developing. It doesn't say anything about teeth. I mute myself and breathe. My hands are shaking. I make myself smile before my thumb takes the mute off. If I can't sound calm, at least I can sound human. I say it's a weird night. I say we're rolling with it. The caller doesn't speak for a heartbeat. Then he says, you called dispatch. The driver hesitated. A man leaned to look. The chain you built is small and heavy, and it started with you. The delay. 180 SEC pulse is steady. A little red heartbeat that's suddenly everything. I don't like what this means. I don't like that the distance between me and what I caused is 3 neat minutes long. I try to find a different shape for the fear. I do what I've seen magicians do when a trick goes wrong. I propose a new trick. We're going to run an experiment. I tell him, say, blue house, green rain. Then don't say anything else. We'll wait 3 minutes. And if that phrase comes back around from someone else, we'll know where you're speaking from. There's a small quiet, like he's deciding whether to humor me. Then he says it. Blue house, green rain. I write it on a post-it with a dying Sharpie. The ink squeaks. The clock says 3:12:10. I turn the music bed way down. I don't want anything in the room besides my breathing, the low rumble of the air handler, the faint buzz of a fluorescent bulb on its last good month. It's surprising how loud a room can be when you stop giving it things to hide behind. The second hand ticks. I count my breaths to keep the silent sensor alive. 10 seconds, and I force another word out, just to keep the fail light from flashing. Waiting is work. 3 minutes is longer than you think. When the second line rings, it feels scripted. It feels inevitable. The caller ID shows me a label I've never programmed. EXD0307. I let it in. Who said? You're on, I say, because muscle memory isn't just for muscle. And then I hear my own voice, 3 minutes old and perfectly preserved. Blue house, green rain. It's not a perfect recording. It's a person's crooked way of speaking. The exact hesitation between blue and house. The way I drop the G in rain, because I grew up around people who did. There's a reason why so many stage magic tricks rely on mirrors. Nothing scares you quite like yourself. That was me, I say. But I don't hit the cough button, so the city hears the small, raw truth in it. The caller doesn't gloat. He just moves the bead on his rosary of facts one notch closer to me. The future is just the delay, Evan. The distance between your mouth and your consequences. Another line blips. Our production line. I open it off air. It's Marla, our engineer, who is kind and practical and tired. The way people are who have made a life out of being the first to wake up when a station goes sideways. My board hiccuped, she says. The backup card deck woke up by itself. Did you load an old jingle? I'm hearing something. My chest tightens. Marla, stay put. Don't come in. Please just stay in your chair. She laughs, small and sleepy. I left my coffee in the hall. I'm going to grab. A door opens in the quiet outer hallway. A paper cup bumps tile. The sound is so ordinary, my brain wants to climb inside it and live there. I do something stupid. I say, Marla, don't stay back. Into a live mic. The phone rings like it's scolding me. You told her not to, the caller says, as if he's marking something down in a log. Now she's curious. You make it worse each time you try to fix it. I sit with that. The idea that my best qualities are sandpapered down into harm and then handed back to me with my name on them feels accurate in a way I don't want. I ask him for one more proof. I ask him to tell me something no one knows. He says a small, humiliating, true thing about a broken tooth I chipped on an olive pit years ago and never confessed it to my dentist. My tongue finds the jagged edge in reflex. The world blurs for a second, and then it isn't a prank anymore. It's a mechanism. Top drawer, he says. Read the card. I slide a drawer open with a noise that makes me think of funeral home doors. Inside is a single recipe card gone yellow and soft. The way paper goes when it has absorbed enough summers and winters. Black marker, heavy hand. 319. DJ found alone in Studio B. Cause dead air. It's ridiculous. It's theatrical. It's something a college kid would plant to creep me out during pledge week. I say Marla's name like an accusation, and the room answers with air and light, which is to say it doesn't answer at all. There's a line in broadcasting about dead air being worse than disaster, because at least disaster is alive. The silence here is an emptiness. It's waiting. I decide to fill it. I bring a song up. The software spins and stalls. the old CD player on the shelf, because every station keeps one like a talisman, spits its tray out like it's bored with me. The turntable spins with no record on it, a little ritual circle going nowhere. Fine. There's a reason we keep the emergency card in the rack, a tape that lives beside the dusty first aid kit, and the manual that tells you how to restart a transmitter without panicking. I slam the card in, the tape brays alive with the flattery of a machine that wants to please. Then it changes, like the tide changes, like the light changes when a cloud moves. It isn't a generic safety tape. It's a night from the station's past, a live break from 1984. I know the year the way you know a song in your blood before the words arrive. The chorusy men's choir jingle, the way the voice tightens at the throat, the grain of cheap tape. A man I don't know says my words in my cadence. Lines are open. Tell me something true, Cleveland. I hear myself 30 years younger and not myself at all. I begin to believe. The way you believe you're going to get dizzy before you get dizzy. That I am involved here in a way that isn't metaphor. The caller is quiet, but I can feel him there, expectant. The old jingle creeps through the ductwork, below my hearing, like tinnitus, like the memory of a choir you walked past, on your way to something sad. The on-air sign swells a half step. I don't have a name for how rooms age until they feel haunted, but it's happening. How many times has this happened, I ask. I don't know whether I'm talking to him or the room, or the red second hand that ticks like it's happy to keep time for anyone who asks. Every time you try to save someone, he says, every time you fill the silence with a solution. Listen. The only thing to listen to is my own breathing, and how it speeds up when I'm instructed not to worry. People call my show for a lot of reasons. They ask for a song their father loved. They tell me a story they can't tell their spouse. They confess to cheating on a diet, or a person, or a morning they were supposed to show up for. I put the right kind of music under their voice and I make the feeling of it sound like permission. Tonight I am being asked not to be helpful. Tonight I am being asked to leave a stranger alone and trust that the thing that happens to him was going to happen anyway. What if I don't read your lines? I say. What if the loop needs me to do what I've always done? What if I go quiet, or I go wrong on purpose, and we end up somewhere else? His voice thins like paper held up to a bright light. Say the line. No, I say. New script. I lean into the mic. I drop my voice the way you do when you want a city to lean toward you. If you're driving on Elbrin or anywhere tonight, pull over safe for 60 seconds. Turn your radio off. Breathe. Let the world pass without you. That's my request line. I have never told people to stop listening to me. The admission feels like the first time you take your hands off the handlebars. Every phone light on the board goes dark, like they've been told to sleep. The delay display dims, vanishes, then snaps back up to 180 as if whatever holds time together in here keeps a starter pistol handy. The clock says 3, 18, 12. I've bought seconds, not salvation. Say the line. The caller says, crisp and angry now. A digital edge in a human sentence. 3:19. The room's lights don't flicker so much as sag. The color drains a touch, enough to make the coffee on my tongue taste like the cardboard it came in. Somewhere behind the walls, the old jingle spreads like a stain. The line labeled EXT 0307 rings and rings and rings. A patient, old-fashioned sound. I'm not you, I tell him. I don't know if I believe it. I'm 30 feet of cable, a transmitter, one antenna, and anyone who finds me on the dial. When I'm at my best, I'm the city talking to itself when it can't sleep. When I'm at my worst, I'm a rumor you can't shake. If there's a loop, it likes people like me. We make good track. There's one gambit left. If silence hands this place to the tape, maybe I can choose my quiet. I reach under the desk and wrap my fingers around the fat XLR. that feeds my voice to the board. The texture of the metal is familiar. The clip gives with a click you feel in the joints. My voice ceases to exist for anyone but me. The silence is real in the way a locked door is real. The room makes a small, rising electronic whine. That means a sensor has been tripped and is telling its little god that it tried. The clock rolls forward. 3:18:54, 60, 61, 62, 3:18:59. The second hand finds at the top of the circle like it meant to all along. The backup tape slams in. There is nothing subtle about it. The station's heart leaps to an old rhythm without asking me first. Evan Cole, a voice says, from 1984 in a tone that is mine, that was mine, that might have been borrowed like a good suit. Middle name James. Last good deed. I mouthed the rest along without a mic. Paid for the woman with the bald tires. The words fit my mouth perfectly because they belong to it. It feels like trying on the exact denim jacket your father wore in a photograph of himself at 18 and finding it smells like your own detergent. It feels like realizing that you are the story, not the storyteller, and that you are both in the same place, talking to each other through time like there's glass and not much else between you. The phone stops ringing like it's satisfied, and then, in a kind of mercy you can mistake for cruelty, it starts again. I pick it up anyway. There are rules here, and they are kind to people who obey them. Zeddy after hours, I say into a dead microphone, into the part of the room that still listens. Tell me something true. Don't hang up, I tell myself across the delay. The two voices layer and become one. The clock's red second hand jumps, and then, this is the worst part, it twitches backward and sets itself to 3:07, like it was tired of being honest. The coffee cup I knocked over is upright again. The CD tray is closed. The post-it, where I wrote Blue House, Green Rain, is blank paper that hasn't learned to be anything else yet. The on-air sign hums like it's just been born. I am not dizzy. I am at the top of the same hour I came from. If I wanted to, I could tell you I ripped the power from the wall. I could tell you I walked out and left the station to break itself back into useful parts. I could tell you I found Marla and we went for pancakes and never, ever came back. There's a version of me that does those things. He exists the way an unplayed song exists in the stack beside the console, full of potential and polite dust. I am not him. I do what I always do, because here is what I'm good at, and here is what might save someone else, if not me. I talk. I keep people company. I make the darkest hours sound like the kind you can live through. So I lean into the mic I just plugged back in and give the city my line, and I listen for the ring I know is coming, and I make a vow you are welcome to hold me to. I will stop trying to save anyone from anything but silence. If you hear me say pull over instead of tell me something true, if you hear me breathe instead of fix, understand, I am working. I am pushing against a gear with my whole body. If you happen to be at Halprin and 5th at 3:10, and you think of me, and you take your foot off the gas because you feel like you should, I will take that too. If you're the man in the brown jacket, and you keep your teeth because you dropped your coffee and looked down, then tonight I am fine with being wrong. If you are hearing this, and the minded hand on whatever you're looking at is crooked and moving hard, if the red second hand jumps like it forgot itself, if your room hums a little too loud, if an old song leaks through your vents, if your phone lights with a call that knows you, don't answer, or do. I don't know. I'm not a hero. I am a voice. This is what a voice can do. It can become a place to pause. It can become proof that you're not alone. You can help me in a way that seems small and might not be small. If you heard the loop, if you felt the skip, leave the words Blue House, Green Rain where I can see them. Put them in the dark little box below this one. If enough of you say it, maybe time will tilt. Maybe the tape will slip. Maybe next time the on-air hum won't swell, and the delay won't have anything to bite. Maybe I'll get to 308, and then 309, and then tomorrow. Stranger things have happened in smaller rooms. This story was told from a booth that still hums, and a city that still listens. This is Ghost Nook TV. If you find yourself awake at 3 in the morning, come back. I'll leave the porch light on.